We're coming to you live from the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Reggie and Adi. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app, good Wednesday morning. We are inching closer and closer to the World Series. Yankees and Dodgers. You can listen to all of it here on WFAN. We are giving away World Series tickets on Friday on this show and the rest of the shows during the day. So we are getting jacked up and excited for that. I wish I was a little more jacked up and excited for the Knicks this morning, but that performance last night was nothing to get excited about. I am not going to overreact. I'm not going to project that this team can't beat the Celtics. There's about 10 million games to play in the regular season, but that was a little bit disconcerting. You had Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee. Wow, when is this going to get old? Oh, I think it has already. I think it has. So we are rolling on this Wednesday. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
You know what, Jay? I am so happy this morning. I look to my right. I got the NHL stat page up, and my hockey team is scoring more goals than anybody else in hockey. So you're not going to wipe the smile off my face today.
I'm trying.
Nobody cares about hockey, Boomer.
Shut up! My hockey team is playing its ass off, scored 7 goals last night, and hit 6 posts. They could have scored 20 goals last night.
Yeah.
And they are rolling. They're playing great in a huge game Thursday against Florida. Now, as far as the Knicks are concerned, look, the Celtics missed their last 13 three-point attempts last night. They were trying to set a record. At one point, they were 29 of 48 from three.
They tied the record, right?
Dude, yeah, it was such a boring game. I mean, like, there was so many offensive rebounds that the Celtics got and just hoisted up another three. There was no grind. There was no intensity in this game. It was like a shooting exhibition that 19,000 people showed up to so they could raise their banner and get their rings. I mean, there is a long way to go for the Knicks. The Knicks have more that they have to deal with in terms of getting guys assimilated to the team. There was a point in time there where I was wondering if Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby were actually going to hit a shot.
Yeah.
So they had off nights, and finally Bridges started knocking down some buckets. But that last night was it was a completely unwatchable game.
Yeah, well, I agree, and this is, and I think also because we've been watching such intense New York sports now for a month, that seeing that, it just was dead.
I go back to their playoff run. That was intense.
Well, yeah, no, of course
that was intense. This last night was an embarrassment. Actually, it was so boring and just so like. Let me just take 3-pointers. Let me just halfway run down the court, take another 3-pointer. I mean, it was ridiculous. Now, good for the Celtics for them because they obviously shot really well, but they just kept getting offensive rebounds that were coming way out, and the Knicks were out of position a couple of times. I want to wait. I got to wait. I got to see 25 games.
Well, yeah.
And, hopefully everybody settles down and, the Knicks come back and they win their home opener against the Pacers. Maybe that will be a little bit more intense than last night's game was.
Well, I mean, if they weren't awake and ready for the season, then last night better have been a smelling salt for them because that felt like they were going through the motions and having another preseason game. And Tibbs, after the game, is like, well, mathematically we can't win that game because of all the threes that they hit. Well, I mean, you can play better defense.
Well, but I got to say, I mean, like a couple of times
they could get some rebounds.
Yeah, but they were out of position because sometimes those long rebounds, they go to the other.
They still hit 29 threes. Not of them all of them are long rebounds.
That was ridiculous last night.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I think Kevin Harlan was going to, he was dying there at the end, him and Reggie Miller. And finally, the Celtics just dribbled it out, and Reggie was like, "I'm good with this, man."
Yeah, well, yeah.
With this.
It's just white flag.
They don't need the record. They just hammer the crap out of their biggest rival. So, it was not a bing bong night, as they say for the Knicks, and it's going to take a while for them to all figure it out. But it was Boston's night from a basketball standpoint, and a team that has been together. And they kept talking about it last night, how these guys got snubbed on the Olympic team.
I'm
that's
so
a thing,
tired
guys.
of hearing that.
But dude, that's it. I know, but it's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay, great. For them, so so that's going to fuel them to win a championship again? They already won a championship last year. It's over. These guys are still hung up on that nonsense?
Jeez, man, it's like cheese the rats, baby.
Cheese the rats?
I'm just telling you, man. It's all about, the edge. You got to bring an edge into the season, and I do believe that Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum do have an edge, and they're going to try to make a point this year. I really do. I'm sorry, but I do.
Okay. Well,
you know how I see these things, just like I saw the Yankees in a World Series.
Right. Yep. Well, I mean, they did win the NBA championship last year. So.
Yeah, well, they may win it again this year. But
it's not like there would be some sort of shock if they made it back and won again.
Assuming somebody doesn't twist an ankle or something like that. Yeah. I mean, they got great shooters. And I'll tell you, the one guy that really, really was impressive last night for the Knicks was Deuce McBride.
Yeah.
He was impressive, boy. I'll tell you what, he was throwing up threes.
Well, they're going to need him to. They're going to need him to make them because, of course, Dante DiVincenzo's presence not being there any longer and all the big threes that he hit. There's going to be more opportunities for someone like Deuce McBride. So yeah, that was good to see. You want your silver lining spot? There's your silver lining.
I'm just telling you right now. I mean, they got to take away the 3-point shot.
Oh God,
they do.
They're not going
to. It's just
do that.
You know why? It's like taking away the red line in hockey.
Mm.
You know, it just makes the game so boring.
Well, in a game like that, yeah, for sure. But not every game is like that.
That game was like so flat last night.
Yeah. Well, let's keep talking about it then.
Well, I mean, I just.
I mean, I don't know, like it sucked. I don't got anything else to say about it. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked.
I wish the guys could fight on the court.
Okay,
that's what I wish.
So this game was so boring to you that you want to get rid of the 3-point line and then legalize fighting in the NBA.
Well, because when I turned over back to the Ranger game, of course, Jacob Trouba lays somebody out, and then somebody's got to fight him.
Right.
I mean, so it's the same thing. Here we go. I mean, the intensity's there. The Rangers are serious. They're focused, and they're fighting already. And, that shows you something. It shows you there's a little heart and fire in the team.
Listen, man.
What?
These regular seasons are marathons.
You know what these regular seasons are?
We're never going to remember what happened.
That's not true.
Last night.
That's not true.
I'll ask you. I'll test you.
It's not true.
I will test you.
I could go back and look at the Mets schedule, and I could say, I remember that game. I remember that game. You and I were at that game, and we could talk about the story that the Mets and the Yankees have written through this 2024 season. Has been amazing.
This is not. And
last
this night
exactly,
will not be a part of the story.
This is what hopefully the Knicks and the Rangers are going to do. They're going to create a nice story
Way too
for
early.
us.
It's not even Halloween, and these just so far to go. I just can't. I cannot
why are you
react
doing
to
this?
any of it.
Why are you doing this?
Because it's the truth,
you have
man.
to react. We're a
It's
sports
not.
talk
I know, but it's like
program, and
there's
you're
nothing to
supposed
say
react
about
to
last
that.
night. There's just
We
nothing
just said
else
it.
to say.
We just said it.
I know, but there's 7 minutes to go to the break. What else do you want to do?
We
keep talking about how the game sucked.
I would just say that no. What I'm trying to explain to you, if you just back off for 1 second,
I just don't understand.
You are, it's about writing a story, and it's about living the journey and being a fan of a team and going on a journey. So we went on a journny.
There was
with
nothing
the Mets.
about last night.
And I
that was a
remember when
journey.
the Mets opened, they were 0-5, and that journey, you were like, I don't want to talk about this. I can't talk about it. It's going to drive me nuts if
But
they're
we
going to
didn't.
suck.
And
And
we
if they're
didn't.
not in October baseball, what are we talking about? And I'm like, look, dude, we got to live the dream. We got to live the journey that the team is on.
And I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing
If
to
you don't
say
care,
about
then what do we
that
even need
basketball
sports
game
talk
last
for
night.
then?
No, I mean because. We do care about things that matter. Last night, there's nothing else to say about that game. There's just not. So this is like a lesson in like sports talk. So you could people who only know how to talk sports will take something out of last night and blow it completely out of proportion.
Well, I haven't done that.
Well, no, I'm saying right, but what you've done is then just take what the facts were of the boring game, and then just talk about that, which also isn't interesting. So, like, I feel like...
Are you saying I'm not interesting?
The game wasn't
interesting.
interesting.
Did you just say I'm not interesting?
No, your take on the game is not interesting.
Well, my take on the game is everybody else's take on the game.
Which is it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you have to
boring.
discuss it. I mean, it was boring,
right,
yes.
But yeah, but let's discuss it in a way that doesn't... I don't know, it just feels like a waste of time.
Okay.
It just feels like a waste of time to me. And I tried to tell you before the show.
If it was a waste of time, then I could have stayed in bed until 11 o'clock and slept in like other people around here are doing these days.
Yeah, I mean,
I could have easily done that. I could have said, you know what?
I'm
not coming in because I'm tired and I stayed up and I watched the game and I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. And I got a lot to say about that.
So say about what?
About, I guess, Evan Roberts taking off. We got a lot to say about that later.
Evan Roberts
I just want
took
to
off.
hear it. I want to hear it first, though. I don't have the full information. It's a game of telephone, so I don't want to go.
Oh, okay.
I just got this information.
Where did you get this information now, Mr. Scuttlebutt?
Someone here on the staff heard something. That's
Somebody here on our staff?
Yes, heard something. So we will get to. I just don't want to. I don't want to have a full blown take on it.
Okay.
Until I hear it all.
All right.
You know
so
what I'm saying?
I mean, this was well, you saw the Knicks game, so maybe you can have a take on that.
I do, and it was boring, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And they got blown out, and we'll never remember it. That's my take.
All right. What do you think about?
That's my take.
Who's under the most pressure going into the World Series? Which player?
Aaron Judge, 110%.
Not Garrett Cole?
No.
Okay.
It's Aaron Judge.
By the way, when you look at all of Aaron Judge's numbers and you compare them to all of Shohei Otani's numbers,
yeah,
he's got better numbers.
Aaron Judge, you're saying better numbers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, of course. I mean, when
His
Otani
slug and his OBP, that's on base percentage, is higher.
Yep.
He's got more RBIs and more home runs.
I know, but this really
and he plays center field.
He does play center field. Now, when Otani pitches again next year, if he's a great pitcher, then obviously that separates him, but he didn't pitch this year.
I think Otani went to the National League to get away from Aaron Judge.
Maybe. I mean, but this is like you're going to go from Don Mattingly to Derek Jeter in this World Series for Aaron Judge. You can go from the guy that was, just every fan favorite, great regular seasons, really didn't get to do much in the postseason to like an all-time legend by carrying this team and beating the Dodgers in the World Series. And then he knows it. I mean, he said it before the postseason. He was like, man, if we don't win the World Series to get to the World Series, it's on me.
Well, wait a minute. You just said two things there.
Yeah.
If we don't win the World Series or get to the World Series, which
I think he said both, actually. I have to go back but he referenced both of them. And at least get to the World Series. So, he wants to win it, so he probably said win it too.
Well, I would say that, if he would have listened to me in August, he would have known he was going to the World Series.
Yeah, no, of course. And he might have. He might have listened to you. But he's someone that, as great as he is, like off the field and the things that he says and how calm he is, he definitely feels pressure, and it gets to him. He just doesn't show it outwardly. Because there's been so many examples of him, like when he was chasing 62 and he got all, messed up there for a couple of weeks and couldn't hit that home run, and you saw the relief on his face, all these postseason at-bats. So there's no doubt that he's put a lot of pressure on himself, and he doesn't really come through in those situations. But he's been slowly breaking out of it, and he also has guys around him who are just unbelievable,
right?
In Soto and Stanton and what they've done in the postseason.
I'm assuming that there's a person listening this morning that I ran into yesterday at the gas station.
Oh, yeah?
Yankee fan, huge Yankee fan. And he recognized me pumping my own gas. Number one, he said, "You pump your own gas?" Oh, yeah, I pump my own gas. Of course I pump my own gas.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, sometimes you can go to gas stations where they pump it for you.
Yeah, but
sometimes most gas stations, 99% of them, you have to pump the gas yourself.
I know.
I don't. Maybe the guy thought I had somebody in the back seat that would get out and pump the gas for me. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So this person says to me, "I loved your take on the Yankees all summer long. You're the one that kept me, grounded. You made me understand how great this organization and team was." And I said, that's really nice of you. Thank you. I said, because I've been getting badgered by some of our Yankee callers thinking that I'm making fun of them because it was a cakewalk and it had something to do with the fact that the Mets lost, which I've been able to divorce myself from, the Mets when I'm talking about the Yankees. I do not have a negative take on the Yankees because of my unabashed love for the Mets. You know what I'm saying? Like some guys around here can't do that. I can do that. I've always done that.
Yeah, this season, and I've done it since I've been here sitting next to you.
So thank you to that guy.
Do you remember his name?
Made me feel good. No, I didn't.
Give him a shout out?
No, he didn't have a name tag on.
No, but sometimes I always ask, hey, what's your name? Someone says, hey, I love the show. I go, what's your name? And they go, Tim. And I say, oh, nice to meet you, Tim. It feels more personal.
I just got one of these. Boomer?
Yeah, you're pumping your own gas?
You're pumping your own gas? Yeah, I said, I don't have an assistant in the back seat coming, that's going to, pump my gas.
I think maybe you
wipe
should.
my windows.
I think you should. That would be great.
Right.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Just to have him there no matter what. You know, you can throw garbage back there. They'll take it. They'll throw it out for you.
That's
Pumping
it.
gas.
I throw my garbage out into the garbage cans just like everybody else does. One piece of garbage at a time.
You know, it's funny because people think that one of my favorite things that people think I do is have a driver to work. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, Mike had a driver.
Well, I know. But
you're in the power chair
That's a
now.
different situation. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that a different situation?
Because that's when radio made money back in the day, and the host got paid. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, Howard Stern used to get a driver from Long Island.
Howard Stern used to get a driver,
Right? Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, it's like the same thing. Like when voicemail systems were making people money. Like it's just different. You know, it's just the world goes on. He made a ton of money, and then the business changed, and now I'm here picking up the scraps. So I don't have a driver.
All right, no, you don't have a driver, but you do live in Sayville.
I do live in Sayville, the friendliest town in America.
Exactly. By the way, did you go to the Portly last night?
Oh, no. I actually went to a Michael Murphy Navy SEAL Museum fundraiser at Sayville Inn. So
Sayville Inn. There you go. Okay.
So I stopped there, but I was only there for a little bit. Made a donation, talked to some people because I was tired and I want to get back and watch everything and settle in. So, but yeah, it was great. It was that Navy SEAL Museum's right there in West Sayville. So if you're on Long Island and you want to see it and the whole Michael Murphy story and the Lone Survivor movie and his Patchogue Medford guy and everything, his father Dan still lives in Sayville. So it's a really, really cool thing. And honestly, if you want to teach your kids and give them some perspective on stuff if they're of that age, it's a perfect place. It really is awesome, and it's right there in Sayville. So anyway, okay, let's take a break. We'll get Jerry in here in a couple of minutes to give us the highlights and lowlights of what was a nothing game for the Knicks last night.